Good afternoon, South Mississippi. Meteorologist Taylor Graham here. Wanted to give everyone an update on what we've been watching on the radar this afternoon, an update on the severe weather potential, and some good news for people that want some more fall-like weather. We do have more of that up ahead in the forecast, but it's been a rainy, warm, humid, and breezy day today. Didn't quite feel like November, that's for sure. Once again, we've been stuck in that high humidity, and with all that moisture, that's been helping us to see some showers and storms. So let's take a look at first alert radar right now. This is as of 1:38 p.m. Still seeing some lighter showers at this time with a few heavier downpours embedded within those, but not everyone's seeing rain at this time. We did see a stronger line of thunderstorms approach Highway 49 roughly by about 12:30 or so earlier this afternoon. Some of those have begun to fall apart. That being said, we still have a decent chance, and a pretty high chance at that, of seeing more showers and thunderstorms heading into the afternoon and also this evening. Notice some of those showers and thunderstorms way to our south along coastal Louisiana. If some of those hold together, we could be dealing with more heavy rainfall, maybe a few strong thunderstorms late this afternoon and into the evening. And we also see some showers and thunderstorms well to our west. Now to our west today, there have been a few tornado warnings. We haven't seen any severe weather here in South Mississippi, but we're still keeping an eye out for the potential for a few of those sneaky, strong to even severe thunderstorms this afternoon. The overall risk is low, but it's not zero, just to give everyone a heads up throughout the rest of today. So we're keeping rain chances pretty high this afternoon into the evening. On and off showers and storms are going to be possible. Once we get past midnight, our rain chances will decrease. We're finally going to see that cold front push through by early Thursday morning, and it's going to feel much different tomorrow morning. The humidity is going to be much lower throughout the day on Thursday. But for now, it is warm and there is no shortage of moisture in the air. We have dew points in the mid 70s. That's typically what we see during the summer months. Now, at least it's not overly hot, but you can feel that mugginess in the air today. 77 currently at the airport. We've got that strong breeze out of the south and east. And because of that breeze out of the south and east, that's keeping us humid. And with that southeast wind, that does pose a little bit of a risk for seeing a brief tornado or two within some of these thunderstorms. By no means is that a guarantee. It's just we do have a little bit of that potential later today. Temperatures right now mainly in the mid to upper 70s. Some spots topped out in the low 80s before we got more rain and cloud cover this afternoon. We did see a little sunshine peeking through here or there earlier today. No doubt about it, that humidity is making it feel a little bit warmer outside. So a wider view showing plenty of moisture in place over South Mississippi into parts of Louisiana. Believe it or not, these are still the remnants of what was Raphael, but these are going to be getting absorbed into another system to our west, absorbed with that cold front we've been watching to our west, and finally that moisture will be moving out of the way. Now that being said, we do still need more rain around the area, so this is not all bad. I know yesterday was a pretty rainy day. Today not so pretty either with all the cloud cover and rain, but it's not all bad. We do need more rain around the area, and by tomorrow things are going to turn drier, at least for a little while. So once we get past this, things are going to be turning drier. That cold front's still a ways away at this time, but it will be picking up its pace by early Thursday morning. The air behind it is much drier, and behind it we do have some cooler air to look forward to. That will really begin to settle in by the end of tomorrow. Now that severe weather risk is a little bit higher than what we had yesterday. The Storm Prediction Center now places us under a level 2 or slight risk of severe weather. It's still on the low end, but not zero. And that does mainly go for South Mississippi, parts of Louisiana, where we've got a little bit more of that instability or that moisture closer to the Gulf of Mexico. So there does remain a low end risk of seeing some strong wind gusts, maybe a brief tornado or two. This is not going to be a big outbreak by any means, but a good idea to stay weather aware throughout the rest of the day. Also, there's a chance of seeing some isolated flooding. Now, that mainly goes for areas to our north and west, and that's because they've been seeing more rainfall over the past week compared to what we've had in South Mississippi. In many spots for us, the ground is still going to be able to soak up some of this rainfall. So our flooding risk is on the low end, but it's not zero. If thunderstorms pass over the same area multiple times, that could lead to some localized flooding. Hail, not completely out of the question, but that's less of our concern. If we were to see some of these strong to severe thunderstorms this afternoon and evening, gusty winds, a brief tornado, and maybe some localized flooding is also going to be possible. But overall, we are on the low risk of seeing some of those severe thunderstorms. Now for your marine forecast, things are still pretty choppy out there with that wind out of the south and east. Small craft advisory remains in effect today over the sound and offshore. It's going to be pretty choppy, maybe even rough at times. Maybe best to stay off of the boat, especially with more showers and storms moving in this afternoon. We've already passed low tide. We will be seeing high tide, it looks like, as we head into the evening. Now, by the end of tonight into tomorrow, many of us will be picking up about, I'd say, 1/4 of an inch up to 3/4 of an inch, somewhere in that rainfall. But those areas that get those stronger thunderstorms could be picking up an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain. It's not out of the question, but that's not going to be for everyone. Those are just going to be those spots that get hit by those stronger thunderstorms. So putting this into motion on Futurecast, still could see more rainfall heading into the early evening. Once we get closer to midnight, though, I do expect most of the rain to begin to move out of the way. We'll start to see that front approaching us from the west. We'll wake up tomorrow morning mainly in the mid to upper 60s. A little bit cooler, but I think the big difference is the lower humidity by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon looks gorgeous, more sunshine, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. And then by Thursday night, that's when temperatures really begin to drop, and it's going to be feeling a lot cooler by Friday morning with lows near 50. And I'll show you that in just a few moments. Extremely humid today. We're talking dew points still staying in the mid 70s throughout the rest of our Wednesday, even late tonight. By Thursday morning, dew points start to drop a good bit into the low to mid 60s. You'll notice it feeling more refreshing, and then by the end of Thursday, you're really going to notice that big drop in humidity with dew points in the upper 40s and low 50s. Finally going to feel more like mid-November at that time. So temperatures drop steadily overnight tonight. After that front passes through, we'll wake up near the sunrise in the mid-60s. Again, 70s expected tomorrow. And then by Thursday night into Friday, that's when that cool air really settles into our area. It's going to be chilly on Friday morning, especially if you're up near the sunrise. We're talking temperatures in the upper 40s, low 50s. A little bit of that breeze could make it feel a bit cooler. By Friday afternoon, we'll be back into the mid 70s for the most part. Futurecast is hinting that some spots may only reach the upper 60s, but because we do have a lot of sunshine in the forecast, for now we are forecasting highs in the mid 70s on Friday, which for a lot of people that's absolutely perfect, and that's going to set the stage for the weekend. The weekend weather looks phenomenal. Great news for any outdoor plans. But again, those mornings are going to be chilly, and by Saturday morning, if the wind is a little bit calmer, we could see 40s across the board. So stay tuned on that. We may have to adjust our forecast lows by the end of the week. And just a heads up, and I'll show you here in a few moments, right around this time next week, we could be in for an even bigger cool down. We've got signs showing that a big trough, big dip in the jet stream may be moving in across the lower 48 by this time next week. And I'll show you that there. These are forecast low temperatures at this time over the next 7 to 8 days. So next Wednesday into Thursday, we may be seeing another big cold front move through South Mississippi and, to be honest, a good portion of the country, and that could bring with it some much cooler air by about November 20th, November 21st, somewhere in that time frame. And the Climate Prediction Center has highlighted us as likely seeing cooler than average temperatures right around November 20th, 21st, even a little bit beyond that. So if you're not a fan of the warm weather at this time of the year, stay tuned. Fall, cooler weather is on the way. We are getting more and more confident with that by the middle to end of the month. And warmer than average temperatures may be possible for parts of the Northeast, but it's finally going to be our turn to see that cooler air. Also, in the tropics, we could very well have another tropical storm develop over the next couple of days. I'm not too concerned with this impacting South Mississippi, but It is interesting that we're in the middle of November and we could be seeing more tropical activity. This is named Invest 99L at this point. This is a disturbance in the Caribbean. In fact, the hurricane hunters are scheduled to fly through this disturbance later today, gathering more information on that. It is expected to move westward over the next few days. National Hurricane Center at this time gives it a 90% chance of either becoming a depression or tropical storm over the next 2 to 7 days. Let's see here if I can show some of the forecast plots, spaghetti plots with where this may go. There's a good chance this system may be moving into the southern Gulf by early to mid next week. The reason why I'm not too concerned with this impacting South Mississippi is because of that big trough I was talking about that's going to bring with it that cooler air. That being said, people along the Florida Peninsula may need to pay attention to this. There's a chance that this system, which will likely be named Sarah, could be impacting the Florida Peninsula right around this time next week. Nothing set in stone, it hasn't formed yet, but the upper air pattern could be setting up Florida for possibly dealing with more tropical moisture or another tropical system by the middle of next week. The setup is that we are looking at a ridge of high pressure somewhere near the Bahamas, Cuba. We've got that big trough that's going to be digging down across the central part of the U.S. And so what will likely be Sarah will be caught in that flow moving to the north and east, and that could direct that system into the Florida Peninsula. A lot of unknowns at this point. It's hard to say how strong the system is going to be getting. Once we get that center of circulation, it will be easier to tell, but it does look like that big trough likely going to be steering this away from South Mississippi. But yeah, hurricane season, it's not officially over, and it's not officially over possibly for Florida. Again, not set in stone, but you know, I know Florida has been hit so hard this year already. They may be not done just yet, unfortunately. We'll keep an eye on things, though. For South Mississippi, though, I'm not too concerned with that system at this time. So for today, still a chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially late this afternoon and evening. A few of those could be on the strong side. Once we get past today, tomorrow, phenomenal highs in the mid to upper 70s. It will be a little breezy with winds from the north and west, but that wind brings in that cooler, drier air. It's going to feel more refreshing. Friday, almost picture perfect. Starting off chilly in the 40s and 50s. We'll be back into the mid 70s. Friday into Saturday, no rain to worry about for your weekend plans. That next front that may be moving in sometime this time next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe bringing a few more showers. But overall, once we get past today, the weather is going to be really nice for your weekend plans. So if you don't have any plans to be outside, maybe make those this weekend because it really does not get much better than this. And again, by this time next week, things are looking even cooler. So this weekend, still the opportunity to maybe wear your t-shirts, your shorts, at least in the afternoon. But we're going to see those mornings where you may need your sweatshirts and it's going to be chilly in the mornings. It's kind of that weather where you have to dress in layers. So we will have another update on our forecast coming up today at 4 o'clock. We will be tracking more showers and thunderstorms moving here in South Mississippi. Hopefully we don't have to deal with any severe weather, but there is still that potential heading into the afternoon. For now, I will be signing off, and we hope to see you back at 4 o'clock on WLOX.